Commission. We need to do the pledges. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Okay, we have the minutes from the February 1st, 2024 meeting.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consent items. Consider approval of planning and zoning meeting minutes. I got that. Case number, file number 2023-86-P in the ETJ. A motion to approve with staff's recommended conditions for the proposed final plat of Eric addition, the subdivision of 6 acres out of the section 6, block 41, T-1-S, T&P Railroad Company, Ector County, Texas, generally located in southeast corner of the intersection of East Marigot and North Hollyhawk. We have a motion on that.
I move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Public hearings? Case file number 2024-02-Z. Consider request by Fabian Hinojos, owner and Merrick Engineering agent for zone change from FD Future Development District to LI Light Industrial District on Lot 1, Block 1, Carmine Chafin Moore subdivision, generally located on the north side of East Murphy Street, approximately 1,460 feet east of South Meadow Avenue.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The applicant, Andrew Mellon, with Maverick Engineering, and owner, Fabian Hinojos, are requesting a zone change from FD Future Development District to LI Light Industrial District on Lot 1, Block 1, Carmine Chafin Moore subdivision. Properties located to the north and west are not zoned as they are in the city's ETJ. Properties to the east are zoned FD, Future Development District, and properties to the south are zoned LI Light Industrial District. The property involved in this request is located north of the intersection of East Murphy Street and Market Avenue. The site is designated FD Future Development District and is currently vacant. The purpose of this zone change request is to create LI Light Industrial District for the zoning to allow the use for workforce housing on the property. Using the city's identified priorities contained in the City of Odessa's comprehensive plan to evaluate zoning amendments, the following comments are offered. For comprehensiveness, this request is compatible with the City of Odessa's comprehensive plan. The property is located near other properties with LI Light Industrial District zoning, as well as associated uses. For livability, the proposed zoning would not have a negative impact on this site or for surrounding properties. The proposed LI Light Industrial District zoning is consistent with development in the area. And finally, for reasonableness, the proposed zoning district will facilitate a reasonable transition between land uses of varying intensities and would not create conflict to the existing land uses in the area. Comments are below from city staff. We've received no objections, and therefore staff recommends approval of the proposed zone change from FD Future Development District to LI Light Industrial District on Lot 1, Block 1, Carmine Chafin Moore subdivision. And we are now open for any questions. Thank you.
I think there's already workforce housing down in that area, isn't there?
There's some workforce housing, but this particular property there, I don't think it has any workforce. It does have industrial development.
I think it was Goliath Industries or Goliath had applied for workforce a few years back.
I think so,
But, okay.
I don't think there's any there, though.
but at this moment in this lot.
Well,
there's
yeah, not on that property, but
Yeah.
in that area.
In that area,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Any questions for staff? More? This is a public hearing. If you have any comments, please come forward, state your name, and make your comments. Do we have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move for approval of this case file as presented by staff.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Case file number 2024-01 SUP. Consider request by Cassandra Huggins, Dynamic Engineering Consultants, PC, for a specific use permit on 1.18 acres lot northeast of Fadre Road in Texas 191, generally located on the south side of East 56, approximately 1,030 feet east of North Fadre Road.
Thank you, sir. The property is currently vacant and zoned Retail 1, which requires a specific use permit to allow the proposed automotive service facility. Properties to the northeast and west are zoned Retail 1 and currently vacant. The property to the south is zoned Light Commercial District, and the location of an urgent medical which includes the location of an urgent medical facility. On January 21st, 2024, the Planning and Zoning Commission approved a preliminary plat as a condition of approval of this SUP. A final plat will be required to be submitted, approved, and recorded. A site plan has been prepared indicating the location of the said automotive service facility within the retail district. The proposed automotive service facility will have a total floor area of approximately 5,963 square feet and is required to have 15 vehicle parking spaces. The site plan shows 44 vehicle parking spaces in compliance. The proposed automotive service facility is compatible with the surrounding uses in the area in the Retail 1 district. The conditions of approval will ensure that there's no negative impact on any future land uses. From the time that we submitted this agenda to at this time, we had a conversation with the consultants of this location. This is not a very big impact of a automotive service. It is more like lighter automotive facility. So we kind of we modified the conditions, and they are as follows. Staff recommends approval of the specific use permit for the automotive service facility subject to conditions A through E. A, shall the applicant choose to store inoperable or wrecked vehicles outdoors, a minimum 8-foot tall solid fence will be required. B, the building will need to meet all fire, building, electrical, and mechanical code requirements. C, all signs need to meet ordinance requirements. D, hours of operation will be limited to 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. And E, review the permit upon receiving neighborhood complaints. This is a temporary permit, and the city council shall have the right to termination for violation of terms and conditions of the permit or because of the negative effect on the use on the neighborhood and after a public hearing. And I'm here for any questions.
That's the question I had, is about how many cars they're gonna have there, because it's automotive service, so it could be a lot.
So they are gonna be doing like a day-to-day type of service. They're not gonna store vehicles at the location.
So they're just gonna be servicing like oil changes and whatever?
Correct.
Okay. Tire changes or whatever.
And let's say they don't adhere to this, what kicks in when they're out of compliance?
If they're out of compliance, if it is approved today, it continues to go through city council. However, if they're out of compliance, city council has the right to terminate their SUP.
This is a public hearing. If you have any comments, please come forward and state your name. Make your comments.
Thank you, Commission. I'm Cassandra Huggins with Dynamic Engineering, and we also have Latoya here with Christian Brothers Automotive, which will be the developer and owner of the facility. As staff previously mentioned, the proposed Christian Brothers Automotive Service Facility we'd like to request a specific use permit. And as staff also mentioned, it is a light use as far as oil changes, things of that nature. And if you have any operational questions, we also do have Christian Brothers here as well. And in addition to the conditions that staff had mentioned, our client, Christian Brothers Automotive, would like to request item number E be revised, and I'll just, our client's legal team had just prepared some language that they would like. We understand that this will have to be passed by city council, but we wanted this to be on the record of, we'd like item E to be revised to review of the permit upon receiving neighborhood complaints about violations of the permit. The city council should have the right to amend, change, or rescind the permit for violations of the terms and conditions of the permit after holding properly noticed public hearing. And if you have any further questions, myself and Christian Brothers Automotive are available.
Can you come and explain what your overview of the business?
How you doing? So we do light automotive repair. We don't do any body work. We don't store tires. We do oil change. We do maintenance. We don't do any painting. We don't do any engine overhauls. We don't do mufflers. We do most post-warranty work, including diagnostics, brakes, shocks, tune-ups, electrical systems, AC service, alignments, and oil changes.
Any more questions for?
Thank you.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Make a motion, we approve case file 2024-01-SUP as presented.
As presented
Well,
by
she
staff.
offered an amendment, didn't she? Or
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when's the amendment gonna be
Okay.
taken care of?
So this actually, condition E is something that city council would have to themselves bring up at their meeting.
So we won't approve anything today, right?
Yes, because this is really, it pertains to city council's, if they choose to modify that.
So I can withdraw my motion until
Isn't
the
that-
city council decides?
No,
You can.
we can approve it
you
as
can
presented by
approve- you
staff.
can-
Okay.
Yes, you can approve it as presented, and city council will handle that condition when it arises.
Then it'll
Yeah.
come back to us anyway, right?
Mm-mm.
No.
Okay.
Isn't this the normal procedure that the city does all the time?
Yes,
But the amendment's late.
I'm sorry?
The amendment's not usually at this time though, right?
I'm
That they're
sorry?
requesting.
They're
This-
requesting, they are aware that this change can be done by or modified by city council.
Okay.
Because it's city council's choice to, if they have any complaints in the area, it's their choice to either modify or terminate the SUP.
So we can approve it and then it'll go in front of the city council.
Correct. You can approve with the conditions presented, and then it moves to city council.
Uh-oh, here comes trouble.
Just to clarify, you guys are a recommending body for council, so you guys can recommend, if you guys do agree with her recommendation or her modification, you can recommend for council to amend it, or you can just take it as staff has presented it.
What's your motion?
I make a motion that we approve as presented by staff.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Case file number 2024-02, SUP and ETJ. Consider a request by Fabian Hinojos, owner and Maverick Engineering agent for specific use permit on Lot 1, Block 1, Carmine Chafin Moore subdivision, generally located at the north side of East Murphy Street, approximately 1,460 feet east of South Meadow.
Thank you again, Mr. Chairman. The applicant, Andrew Mellon with Maverick Engineering, is requesting a specific use permit to allow for workforce housing in a light industrial district. The site is currently designated as FD Future Development District, with a request for a zone change to LI Light Industrial District to facilitate approval of the specific use permit. A site plan has been submitted by the applicant showing the proposed 9 portable buildings and associated parking. The proposed workforce housing requires 45 parking spaces, and 60 parking spaces have been provided in compliance. Access will be provided to the homes and parking area from proposed paved extensions from Murphy Street to the south and to the existing driveway to the northeast of the property. City staff have submitted their comments to us, and they're in your report. We've received no objections, and therefore staff recommends approval of this SUP request, subject to conditions A through L. We are now open for any questions. Thank you.
Okay, this is a public hearing. If you have any comments, please come forward, state your name, give your comments. Any questions for staff? Do we have a motion?
I have a question. On this workforce housing, are these all, are these all separate lots? I think we've approved some where they're on the industrial, there's already an industrial operation there, and they're just moving the housing on for their employees. Is that correct? Am I understanding that right?
Well, some of it, not necessarily for
No,
the
not
employees,
necessarily.
it's for general housing, and the city has a whole set of rules for workforce housing, as I recall.
So this workforce housing that's coming in is already on the lot. They do have industrial uses on the lot already. They have an existing building. But they're adding this workforce housing for their workers. I think it's.
Is that for workers only, or are families living there too?
No, just for workers only.
Workers only. We don't have any children in any of these that we're approving this workforce housing. We don't have any children that are living in these properties where there's already an industrial facility going on.
No, sir.
Okay,
There
okay.
are,
That's what it was last time too.
there are conditions, if you look at condition E, occupancy shall limit 2 persons per bedroom at the same time, but this is only specifically for the employees of the company.
Does it say that anywhere in the specifications, it's only for employees?
Let's see.
I understand what
See,
you're
I
saying.
have a little concern if we've got kids
Yeah,
living in
No.
these facilities that I mean, I don't have a problem with it being workforce housing if that's all it's limited to, but if we've got families also on these sites that have industrial property and operations, I'm a little concerned about that, and I don't know if I should be or not, but
So I think you have a great point. So it also, one of the conditions does state that they have to have an on-site manager at all time, which is somebody from the company. It's only or for housing, I believe in the definition, it does state that it is for the company employees only. However, if that's something that you want to amend and for us to add to it, like on that condition, I believe she said it was E, and just specify for employees only at all times, we can add that to
Can we
it
put
right now.
no minors in that also, so we can have
I'll
some
have to
basis?
I think there's no issues with that, right? If we put it in as a condition.
Well, there's
Just-
there's only 2 people per bedroom, and if you look at the floor plan, they're
Yeah, but.
separate apartments. Yeah.
That doesn't mean
Table?
anything though.
Did the city not go through this a few years ago and
Yeah, so
develop a plan or a
we
plan?
have been bringing several to you guys, and especially since I'm here, I think we've done like 2 already. And that's why we have a clause in there where it allows us to go back and review them. This one, we did go a little bit longer simply because the other ones are mobile homes that are bringing in, and this one, they're actually building like real housing, like.
So
this-
it's gonna be permanent.
Yes. But we do have a 10-year review for them to come back to us to be able to make sure that everything's still good. But at any time, it does allow us, if there are any violations, to go on site and to look at them.
And this is 45 units?
Yes. So this one is a little bit more unique than the other one. So if that's something that we need to add, we can. I know our legal is saying we can table it, but they are in a time crunch.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like this is gonna come up, we kinda need a template to kind of, let's get it right.
Like I say, it bothers me that there might be children playing around industrial
Correct.
facilities, and who's monitoring that? I mean, ultimately, I guess it comes down to the company's
Yeah.
liability, but we've kind of.
And I do know, Dan, that if we do table this, they're gonna appeal it. So it will still go to council because they're on a very short time frame.
Yeah, but this one is unusual because, like you say,
They're building it, correct?
this isn't gonna be trailers that
No.
gonna haul in and out.
Yes, correct.
I mean,
It's gonna be housing for now, and,
I would much rather take it, we'll meet again, 2 weeks from now?
yeah.
This one's actually going to, this one, because of the condition that they were in, we advertise it to go back to back. So it's actually going on the 27th to city council. So we do, I believe that week we do, oh no, city council's first and then it would be them.
I mean, I think we've approved others like this, and I think it was brought up the last time, and I'm just not sure how that
No,
is
I think
monitored.
I think it's a great point and something that should be taken into consideration. And that's why I said, if we can amend it to say no children allowed on premise at all time, then I think it will fulfill that.
Yeah, because if you don't, somebody's next year or whatever, you're gonna have kids running around. I know how housing is around here. It doesn't matter if it's one bedroom.
Yes.
So I'd like to table it myself.
What are your thoughts, Jimmy?
Well, again, I have CRS disease. I can't remember stuff like I used to. But I know that the city had lots of issues with workforce housing and lots of discussion, particularly about the mobile units, those that mounted on skids and how they'd be removed. They went through a lot of detail about whether they were going to stay or go. But I don't recall discussion about families.
Well,
And
they used to have them separate. I mean, it was
Yeah.
workforce housing
That's it.
separate from, but then when all of a sudden we got these companies that wanted to put them on site
Right.
where the operations
Let
were.
me ask you this, though, this is an ETJ, that's not even in the city, right?
Correct. It's outside city. No, it's inside city limits. So they actually, didn't they just do a zone change too? Yes.
We presented the zone change just a few minutes ago. This property, it was actually, used to be outside the city
Outside.
limits, but was incorporated,
Lighting district.
a few years ago. But yes, it's inside at this time.
Now, question, Gary, when you say no kids, can children visit?
See, that's the can of
That's
worms
why if
we're
we say at
opening
no
up here.
times, they would not be allowed to at any time. They wouldn't be able to come out on premise.
It was fine when we had separate entities, but now we're putting them on site out there where they're doing industrial work. It's kind of, I don't know.
It didn't make sense, you're right.
It's intended to be for their workers that are on their payroll. But
I mean, I was fine with his workforce when it's separate, but I kind of just was nervous on it afterwards when we're letting them put it on site there. And I think we've approved one or two others like this.
One of the things.
your call.
Your motion.
Man, I think we've approved another one on like this. So
Now, you're
that's-
saying we can,
You can amend,
Amend?
you can recommend amendment to E, right?
Yes.
Which would be, sorry,
Personally, I'd like to get away from us allowing them to live on even their workers. I think it needs to be a separate entity, and that's the way this all started out being, and it's just,
Yeah.
it's gotten.
So E would be, right now it reads occupancy shall be limited to 2 person per bedroom at the same time, so we can add occupancy shall be limited to 2 person per bedroom at the same time, no children allowed at any time on premise.
How about no minors?
No minors.
Yeah.
How about anybody under 18?
So you guys, I think you guys have to state it, right?
Is that good with you?
Yeah, that sounds fine. I'll make a motion, we approve this, subject to no minors being allowed at any time on the premises.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Case file number 2024-06P, motion approving a replat of Lot 44, Block 33, Wedgewood Edition, 8th Valley, City of Odessa, Ector County, Texas, generally located on the south side of East University, approximately 380 feet east of John Ben Shepherd Boulevard.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The applicant, Forest Hermanos LLC, and Newton Engineering, the consultant, are seeking to replat for the creation of 3 lots for ownership purposes. The current zoning is R Retail District. Comments are below from city staff, and we've received no objections, and therefore staff recommends approval of the replat of Lot 44, Block 13, Wedgewood Edition, 8th filing, subject to Condition A. And we are now open for any questions. Thank you.
Any questions for staff? This is not a public hearing. Do we have a motion?
Do we have a comment? It's like this Gary's old home that he tore down. Just a record. And I've already noted to staff, I have an ownership interest in the remaining building as a tenant. Don't have a dog in the fight with the replat, but I own part of Basin Abstract, which is a tenant.
Okay. Thank you for noting.
I move for approval.
Second.
No, let's just,
Because there's 4 of you now,
yeah,
and Mr. Peacock,
abstaining, yeah.
Pardon?
he's gonna have to abstain, so there's only 3, we will not have a quorum. Okay.
You're not out of court.
Is he abstain, are you abstaining,
Well,
or you just making a
I'm
notation?
making notation.
He doesn't have ownership in the building.
I don't have ownership in the building. My company is a tenant.
Okay, do you, Mr. Peacock, do you see that you have a conflict with it?
Kind of hard to tell.
Okay.
It doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect my company.
Right.
But it will too.
Well, everything affects you.
Yeah.
Do.
So Mr. Peacock
Yeah.
says,
Yeah.
you're having a hard time.
I'd rather abstain.
Well, then let's make a motion to.
Table.
Table, and then that's a whole lot safer for
Right.
you than for us to.
Good.
Okay?
Okay.
That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I make a motion that we table this case file.
Second.
All those approved?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, any other business?